welcome back to Streamertopia. Adam, what's going on next?
So thank you all for joining our first part. If you listen to it, today we're going to start off our interview with a game called Ninja or Pirate. If you're familiar with the game, this or that, very similar. We learned a lot about Bish in a short amount of time. So I think it was a lot of fun to do. I think Bish had a great time with it. And then obviously we'll finish up the interview, learn a little bit more about some of his sim experience with Microsoft Flight Simulator. And that'll wrap up the show after that. But Eric?
Cool. Let's get it started.
All right, sounds good. They're all pretty simple.
No, not
it's basically gonna be a mix.
So I could just answer it with anything, or am I gonna get like a choice of like?
No, you're gonna get two choices.
Right. And I have to go with one.
And then
that's right.
Yeah, it's basically a minute and a half, just a kind of a speed round, just to get to know you a little bit better. But Eric, you ready to start the clock?
Yep.
All right, you ready?
Let's go.
All right, here we go. Ninja or Pirate. First one, dog or cat?
Dog.
Netflix or YouTube?
YouTube.
Phone call or text?
Text.
Cardio or weights?
Weights.
Star Wars or Star Trek?
Neither.
Oh man,
I knew it was gonna happen.
All right, that's it. That's the end of this interview. Sorry.
So should I end the interview now, or?
All right, tea or coffee?
Coffee.
All right. Being hot or being cold?
Being hot.
Free coffee or free Wi-Fi?
Free Wi-Fi.
Oh. Invisibility or flying?
Flying. 100%.
Which one? I'm sorry.
Flying.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cups in cupboard, right side up or right side down?
Huh. Now we've had a pause. Right side up.
All right. SR22 or A320?
A320.
Salty or sweet?
Sweet.
Beach or mountains?
Beach.
Neat or on the rocks?
Neat.
Nice. Fame or power?
That's a weird one. Power.
Think, right?
I'd say power, just because the whole fame thing kind of like freaks me out a little bit.
Gotcha.
Power.
And then I think we're out of time. So last one would be Ninja or Pirate?
Pirate, 100%.
Nice. All right, gotcha. Cool. Yeah, I got my Sea of Thieves shirt on today. So
nice. Yeah, I do a little bit of Sea of Thieves. Like we used to before. Like I took some time to like do some more grinding towards becoming a Twitch partner. But I will definitely be playing some Sea of Thieves in the future, like on a Friday stream. Yeah, Sea of Thieves is great. I love it.
That is my number one game right now.
Yeah.
No doubt. I love
so
Sea of
good.
Thieves.
The stuff that you can do in Sea of Thieves is just, I love it.
And I just love that the content they put out there is just,
yeah.
I mean, it's awesome. It's a great game.
There's nothing better than grabbing a keg and swimming over to someone's ship without them realizing and just see it and just watch it. Just
agreed. Yes. No, it's a great
On the flip
game.
side, there's nothing worse than that going wrong and you exploding in the water.
Yeah, I mean, nothing was happening to you.
That happened to me last game.
Yeah.
We just beat this big thing and this guy came over in a rowboat with one. I'm like, what's this guy? Oh, never mind.
And then
that was
the
end
you're
of me.
dead.
Yeah, exactly.
So, So a couple things here. So Star Wars, Star Trek, that's not your bag.
I'm never really into it. I'll be very honest with you. Like I'm gonna be honest. I don't get it. I don't get it. Like I've seen all these people like, oh, like Star Wars, like Star Trek, whatever, and all that stuff. And I get like there's loads of people who are fans of like something, but I just never really got it, man. I don't know. Like I remember like being like 8 years old. Over here in the UK we call it primary school. Like over there you guys have, I think it's just elementary, right?
Yeah.
And I remember the teacher, like, just, it's one of those days, like, it was approaching the end of the year, and you remember the teachers, like, they'd roll out the TV, like, the TV on wheels, like, it's movie time, class, and, we'd just be like, okay, like, what are we going to watch? And then she put on Star Wars, man. Everyone's like, yeah! And then you'd look at, like, right in the back, there's, like, Bish, no facial hair. Like, I'd just be like, really? Like, and then I never
Nap
really
time.
got into it. Yeah, I don't know, man. Like Star Trek, I mean, it looks kind of cool, but I don't know. I never really got into it. What's
Yeah, what's your Twitch handle again, so everybody can get a hold of you on this? I'm sure that there'll be some comments.
No. I know Chewy, Matt, like he's a huge Star Wars fan. Like he even builds like the Legos on stream and stuff like that. But yeah, I remember I told him like, man, I don't really get it with Star Wars. He was like, get out. It's so funny though. Yeah.
Coffee or tea? You're going with coffee. That's
I'm going with coffee just because that's what I'm drinking right now, but I love tea as well. I do like tea.
Same here.
We drink a lot of tea here in the UK.
Yeah,
Even though I'm Portuguese, you know, we drink tea. We drink a lot of tea. But coffee is what gets the motor going, man, in the morning.
No doubt.
The only other one that I wrote down, flying or invisibility.
That was that was a difficult one. I had to say flying purely for like obvious reasons. Just pure obvious reasons.
All right, so a couple other questions here, and again, Bish, you can't thank you for your time enough. I know that
no worries.
Day off, and so you talked about Matt a little bit. Are there any streamers that your downtime you want to go ahead and give a shout out to that you watch?
Yeah, there's quite a few. Like mostly, of course, in the flight sim community. Like Matt. Obviously, everyone knows him as Chewy. He's been fantastic. Like to me, since day one. A huge supporter of my content. I've met him a few times. I met him for the first time in Cosford, which is one of the conventions that we have over here in the UK. And then obviously we met up in Orlando for last year's Expo. But yeah, just great guy. He's rated and hosted my channel so many times. Like when I was obviously grinding towards partner, and Matt gets hundreds of viewers. He's right now, obviously, I think that he is in terms of the proper flight sim community, because you get loads of people who stream MFS right now, and they've literally just come in from nowhere. I don't know. They've built a community playing other games, but if we're purely talking flight sim, Matt's number one in my opinion. Just great guy, and super lucky with him. Just showing support. And London controller Jamie as well. He's a good kid. It was quite funny with London controller, because he'd come to me one time just asking for a little bit of pointers and help and stuff like that. But it's those things. It's those kind of things that you kind of build a special relationship with someone. And he's been doing great. He's smashing on Twitch. Became partnered way before me. He's over 2,000 subscribers, which is crazy. 2,000 subscribers in flight sim. That's nuts.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's amazing. And he's a great kid. He's always hyped. He's always just full of life, obviously, in his streams. And I love him. He still remembers obviously the time when we were kind of talking about kind of helping each other out, just kind of giving each other little pointers here and there, which is fantastic. Because some people, of course, as we all know in life, when they make it, it's kind of see ya, I'm out of there, and but those who still remember, definitely part of the, one of the definitely the good guys. And who else? Alpha Originals, Wesley, love that guy. Info Jam as well. There's quite a few from the UK, UK based. But there's loads, man. There's
and I know that you're not. I don't want to put you in a spot where you're leaving somebody out. I know that there's so many of them. There's
just so many. There's definitely loads of good streamers out there, Sheena, even Sheena, the Norwegian girl, and she's awesome, man. She's super funny. Yeah, she doesn't take any BS from anyone, and it's great, man. I love that kind of that personality about her. But yeah, there's so many, so many, for sure.
Very cool. Did you ever think about becoming a real pilot?
Yeah. When I was young, when I remember this day like it was yesterday, man. Becoming fascinated with planes for the very first time. I'm not sure if you guys picked it up on my streams, previous streams and stuff like that, but obviously when we moved over to the UK, again from the little line of Madeira, my mom was working with my auntie, her sister at the time. My auntie at the time, she owned a little burger hut right? And it'll be one of those where you kind of like connect it to the back of your car and you can just drive it anywhere and just like station it and just like serve like, you know, like some greasy food to like some coach drivers, bus drivers and stuff like that.
Right.
And they did it in like this bus parking you know, lot in Heathrow Airport. And whilst my mom and auntie were working, I'd just be eating cheeseburgers, like just wandering around. I'm like, oh, that's cool. Like, what's going on over there? It's all that noise. Boom, like 777 taking off runway 27 right. And there's me shoving a cheeseburger down my face. And I just see this thing just like take off. And I was like, whoa, you know, like how could something that big, like, and that noise as well, do you know what I mean? And the sound of the engine,
Yes.
This was a 777, like British Airways plane. And I was just like mesmerized. And since then I just had this like fascination with planes. And for me, it was mostly like, you know, civil, like, you know, commercial jets, you know, Airbuses, Boeings and MDs. And, you know, when it came to like flight planning as well, I only kind of like did IFR as well. Cause I just wanted to become a pilot, man. You know, like I'd make my nieces and nephews who were much younger than me, like sit down whilst I would be the pilot, like the captain, and I'd have a little plane in my hands and we'd be like, yeah, we're taking off now. And then they'd have to like sit there and do this and stuff. And then I'd tell them, now you can kind of like get out of the plane. Yeah, I remember all those days, man. I wanted to become a pilot, but as I grew older, I just like started developing like different ambitions. And, you know, becoming a pilot is quite difficult. It's money, to be honest with you, that I just did not have. You know, everyone's got like different situations going on, and you know, I hate using it as like an excuse, but it's quite difficult. Like if you come from like a single parent like family, and you know, all of a sudden you're the man of the house at like 17, 18, like you know, it's a bit of pressure, and I just couldn't do certain things and leave certain people behind when they needed me. So, you know, it's one of those, and you know,
do what you gotta do.
Yeah, it's fine. You know, we are here where we are today. You know, there was a few sacrifices and stuff. I'm happy. I get my kicks with my flight sim. You know, I'm streaming for like 200 people and just, you know, doing interviews with you guys, of course, in a complete like the other side of the world, and it's great, man. So, you know, it is what it is. Yeah, that's cool. What it is.
So, you know, I want to talk a little bit about Microsoft and here and what they've done. So I guess the best way to put this question is what do you feel that Microsoft has given us, you know, with Microsoft Flight Simulator, you know, and you know, who's getting invited to play this game now, you know, or sim. So it's just curious about your thoughts are.
I'll be very honest with you. Because this is kind of like 50-50 right now. There's a lot going on within the flight sim community about this new sim, like both like positive and negative. It seems like it's 60-40 more to the negative side. Unfortunately, there is a few toxic people in this community, just like every other community. Hey, at least it's not League of Legends, right? Because that's like 90-10 toxic.
Yeah, and it hasn't launched on Xbox yet.
Yeah, so we'll see. We'll wait until the console is like, you know, like turn on the crossplay, and then there's another 50 747s taken off of like Courchevel or like Leclerc Airport, right?
They just need to make it impossible to fly upside down, and that will solve a lot of issues.
That's all you need to do. But I'll be very honest with you. You know, flight simming for 22 years now, since a very young age. Like started with FS98, and just remembering the FS98 days. And I moved from FS98 to 2002, 2004. You know, a century of flight. Remember that? Yeah. FSX and P3D version 3, X-Plane. To where we are right now, yes, MFS doesn't have FS Labs. Yes, it doesn't have Tollus. It doesn't have Flight Factor. It doesn't have PMDG and stuff like that. But what these guys have given us, like out of the box, is something that I've never ever experienced before, ever. In 22 years of flight sim, man, I've never experienced a sim with that level of detail. The whole world is there. Yes, some sources of the scenery is quite bad. But hey, dude, like I can fly in Papua New Guinea, and it looks awesome. There's these spicy little airfields, airports and stuff, and I'm having an absolute blast flying to these areas that I've never had the chance to before, because either the mesh, the scenery just wasn't good enough, or there wasn't any scenery at all for previous sims. You know, for many years, I've flown, these study level planes and in-depth planes, whatever you want to call them. But in my opinion, to have a sim, like the base of the sim where the weather is looking gorgeous, the scenery is looking great, you don't have to worry about generating ortho and buying this scenery, that airport, this. Now I can actually concentrate on just buying some planes and airports, because the rest of, like, everything else seems like it's working fine. And they need time, of course.
Yeah.
Like everybody else does. I mean, I think what people forget about is, like, where was X-Plane and P3D a few weeks after the release?
Right.
Yeah. We're close to, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's obviously loads of like fanboys out there. I hate using that term, but it's true. There definitely is. And obviously they're just like already, like trash canning this sim like 2 weeks into the release. And, because the default 787 doesn't fly, they like the quality wings. It's just like, come on, guys, like give them a break. Like, just wait for the third party. But you've got like a really good base sim, which in my opinion, I never really experienced before. So, I want to give them time. I always said it in my streams, I want to, I'm going to be here for like the long haul. I want to experience the evolution of this sim. And, if it gets to a point where it's like, okay, I've given them enough time, not much, I haven't seen too many returns, then I can make a decision and go from there,
Based upon that last update that they just did, that long list of things in such a short period of time, I think that they're going to be putting quite a few resources behind this. That would be for sure. So
yeah, I mean, it's in terms of like the default planes, it's broken a few things, but it's not like the first time we've seen this. Like every game, like it doesn't even have to be flight sim. Every game, like when a developer tries to fix something, they end up breaking something else. That happens in literally every game. Every game. But they've optimized the sim. There's more performance. After the last update, I'm getting like 20 frames extra, which is insane. So for people out there who are on like low to medium end settings, they can actually turn those settings slightly up a little bit more. Of course, there is situations where people aren't able to download the update or the game's crashing, but then you have to ask, like, why isn't that happening to everyone? I updated the game, like the sim, just fine. You have to ask, like, are you running the latest NVIDIA driver update? Is your Windows up to date? And stuff like that. Before you start having a go at the developer, like, is your PC actually up to date to run the sim before you start? Do you know what I mean? So there's quite a few of that going on.
Just as long as your default answer is, well, you should upgrade to the 3080, and
yeah, like catch up. Come on now. Let go of that 1060, like that 1660, whatever it was, or that 980, like whatever it is that you're running. Just come on. But yeah, it's pretty cool. Like I'm not gonna lie, if it wasn't for MFS, I wouldn't know, would I even be partnered today?
Right.
We'll never know, but it happened.
Well, yeah, it's just one of those things that happened. It's a breath of fresh air. I'm loving every minute in the sim. I'm exploring places that I've never really flown to. I'm learning to fly different planes, even though they are default. I'm still able to get from A to B and have a good time. And that's my main objective when I start my stream.
Right.
Simple as that.
Yeah.
We'll see how
you
it
have
goes.
between X-Plane and M, speaking of what you just said, the X-Plane and Microsoft, do you have a favorite plane that you like to fly? And a favorite route too.
Oh man, there's quite a few. But MFS are definitely the TBM. Definitely the TBM. The TBM 930 is, even though it's like, yes, the autopilot's still kind of like, it's going to try and kill you, but not as much as the other planes.
The 320.
Yeah. Oh yeah. All three airliners are just, forget about it. But the TBM 930 is definitely like my favorite plane in MFS, and X-Plane, the Airbus A300, 100% without a doubt. The A300 is my favorite plane IRL. So to see that, and the A310, and to see that actually in a flight sim as detailed and in depth as any builds actually made it, was super cool to see. So yeah, I'd say those two planes right now.
So what about you've gotten the invitation to participate in the I guess it's a beta for PosCon, and so what are your thoughts, people that haven't experienced something like that before? Because I think that kind of, when you start hearing about ATC and you're brand new to a sim, you're probably freaking out a little bit, and What do you think about PosCon and what that's going to be able to do for us?
Yeah. PosCon's really like special for me because I've had my eye on it like for a while, like since it was still in development. You know, I remember watching the YouTube videos when they were like showcasing a bit of like the refresh rate and they were doing the group flights before it was released. And this was a time where VATSIM were, still, flying high. VATSIM were doing their thing and they still continue doing their thing. VATSIM is still the most popular online network in flight sim, for all flight sims. But for me personally, most of my flight simming has been done either online without ATC or offline. Simple as that. Like ATC, for me, as much as I love flight simming and I love aviation and I'm fascinated with, all that stuff, the whole ATC side of like flight simming, I never really had like an interest in it. It was a type of realism or immersion that I didn't think I needed. If I wanted to become a real life pilot, that's my mentality still. Like if I want to become a real life pilot or, train or, do something with, air traffic control, maybe take that towards, then it would kind of interest me. But I just wanted to go online, do some flying with a couple of, with a few guys and just have a laugh, and that's why I would use like networks like FS Cloud where you can fly online with people, but without ATC. Right. And then PosCon came in and I remember having a chat with the guys, AJ, who's the main guy at PosCon, and he's a real world pilot, like for American. He flies Airbuses and the 757, etc. Great guy. I got to know them in Orlando last year for the convention, during the convention, and a few other of the developers as well. And, we immediately just clicked. And, when they started telling me about like how PosCon can benefit me and the rest of the crew and stuff like that, because they're still working on the ATC side of things, but we're able to fly online with people. And the refresh rate and the model matching and the animations in PosCon, even the sounds from the models, that's like amazing. Even comparing that to like other networks, like you don't really get that. But of course, other networks have been around for a much longer period of time. They've got more traffic and stuff like that. But like you said, if you're quite new, I don't think you want to be joining a very, very popular network with tons of traffic, because that's going to be way too overwhelming for you. And that's, in my opinion, why PosCon is so great right now. Because whilst they're working on the ATC side of things, me and the rest of the guys are able to learn slowly, but still fly online with each other and use the appropriate frequencies to just let everybody know what we're doing, basically. Right. But it's a great network, and they're a great bunch of guys. Honestly, super helpful as well. Yeah. Shout out to PosCon.
The future's bright. I mean, you just everything, all the third-party people that are coming in, it's only going to get better with this.
Yeah, so, I think they've got over 2,600 people right now on PosCon. Yeah, 2,600, and every weekend, I think on Saturday, they do VFR sessions. So there will be like 1 to 2 people like controlling in a tower. They'll obviously pick the location. They'll let everybody know via social media. And then everyone, of course, who's around on a Saturday, who's got nothing else going on, they can, just join a bunch of other people and just get a feel for what the PosCon ATC is going to be about. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to take part in one of those events right now, because mostly weekends is when I take some time off to have some time for me, or like, deal with family and stuff like that. But in the future, I definitely will be looking into it. But PosCon for me is great. Like, I always get that question on stream: why PosCon? Why not VATSIM? And I always reply, well, why VATSIM and not PosCon? And everyone's like, whoa, he just like threw that. He just did the Jedi mind trick on me.
Right.
Like,
I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah. Like, whoa, like, dude. Oh, but yeah, it's all personal preference.
You can't use Jedi mind trick.
I know, especially after what I said. I know.
Right.
But it's one of those, man. I mean, that's the beauty of flight sim. You don't have to just follow the rest of the pack. You fly whatever you want. Fly whatever makes you happy. Like, do whatever routes that you like. I mean, for me, I like flying everywhere. Right. I mean, expressway visual into LaGuardia is one of my favorite like all-time approaches. The river visual, right, into DC, one of my favorite approaches. Yeah. Love flying in Brazil. Santos Dumont, one of the spiciest approaches in the world. Paro, don't even need to mention Paro. Everyone knows about Paro. Like Paro Bhutan. Like, last time I flew into Paro, there was like 0 visibility, and synthetic vision definitely came in clutch then. I just had to like focus on the screen. Yeah,
I remember that vividly.
Oh
That
yeah.
helped though. That was awesome that it came in. That was
Yeah, synthetic vision definitely saved my butt there, 100%. Like I couldn't see what was going outside, and then I looked at my PFD and I just saw mountains everywhere. I was like, just slow down, and just we did the circle to land, and it was great. But yeah, there's so many, so many.
Adam.
Well, you want to? I guess maybe one more question. I know that we're kind of in an hour, but you want to talk about the Global Alliance?
Well, yeah, I want to, the Global Sim Alliance, explain it, who it is, what it is.
Yeah. The GSA have been around for a while, right? So on Twitch, whoever is a Twitch partner can basically create a team, right? It could be a team for anything. It's just a team. You send out invites to some of your friends who also stream, or other people, of course, that you're fans of who aren't part of a team already, and you're just a streaming team, right? So the Global Sim Alliance is pretty much that, and it all started with a guy. I'm pretty sure you guys know John Fly, right? Sure. Yeah, John Fly. He's the granddaddy. He's the main guy behind the GSA. He put that together, and he's been sending out invites to some really cool streamers, people that he thinks will fit the team well. And that's basically it. It's basically a group of people who stream, and it's not even just flight sim related stuff. It could be all things flight sim, all things like just simulation wise, truck sim, flight sim, train sim, whatever. But it's mostly like simulation, but some of those guys, of course, even like myself, we like to mix it up and play some other games. But as long as you put some time into like flight sim or something like that, then you'll be fine. But yeah, it's basically that. It's just a group of people, of course, who it's just a Twitch like streaming team. Great guys in there as well. Most of them, of course, based in NA. But John's been he's been inviting a few from EU, which is quite nice to see. Kenko is there, and London Controller, of course, Jamie is in there, and Komosko. There's quite a few. So it's a mix, which is great to see, because there's obviously like different kind of like points of views. And
is Brad in that?
I think Brad's in that. Okay. Puck Vanek, I think, was in it. But he's moved away from flight simming, but he still does a bit of flight simming here and there, and he's of course a real life pilot. Yeah, he's doing some iRacing stuff, which shout out to my man Puck as well, because when I started streaming, like he was kind of like he'd just been around for like a few months as well, so we've kind of like grown and gone through this journey together. Shout out Puck, love you. But yeah, he got partnered not too long ago as well, which is fantastic to see. Yeah, great group of guys.
Awesome. So this is I want to finish this up, and these people usually don't get any visibility, and I think it's important. I just wanted you to talk about your moderators a little bit. What they do for you and how this works. A lot of people that are going into Twitch stream don't understand what's happening in the background and what these guys are doing and the time that they put in. So I just wanted to give you that opportunity to talk about that.
This is actually fantastic. Thank you for even like mentioning like that, because like you said, like some of these guys, the mods behind everyone's stream, they hardly get the recognition because it can be quite stressful, especially after you've just come back from your own grind, like an actual like job, and you come back home and you want to watch a stream, but then you've realized, wait a minute, I'm a moderator here, I have to put up with the trolls, I have to like actually, do you know what I mean? But it's my guys, fantastic group of guys, and shout out of course to my man Exos, Stefan, Max, Angry Bearded Guy, Bill's a guy that I've known Bill since I was like in my teens. Like he's one of my IRL friends, and he's very supportive. Bill's one of those guys when we were playing CS:GO back in the day. I told him like I think I might give the streaming thing a go, and he was like, and here we are. He's one of my mods, so it's one of those. But yeah, like those guys are just there, like whenever they can. It's no pressure, of course. It's not like a job. I made it very clear to those guys, like, guys, I want to give you like mod states because, you're a great bunch of guys, supportive of the content. Me, kind of like what the stream is about. And just try and have fun, obviously, with the rest of the guys. But obviously, if I'm like busy, crashing into a mountain, then you guys can, obviously keep an eye on in the chat. And if, of course, anything happens, then just do your thing. But they're just a great bunch of guys. I couldn't have done it without them. And obviously the rest of the community who's been showing support. And I always make sure like I get their feedback. We have our own kind of like moderator chat in the Discord as well, so we can just find out how everyone's day is. And, you know, but if anyone has any concerns, we bring it up and we discuss it, which is, I think is really, really important. These are the guys who are moderating for you, you know, like we have to be on the same page. And if we're not on the same page, this is actually my second group of mods. The first group of mods didn't really work out too well. I'm not going to go into too much detail about that, but they're no longer with us. But the second group of guys, I learned from the first time, you know, like we have to be, like I said, on the same page, because if we're like totally different in terms of like, you know, certain things, there's just going to be some clashing. But like I said, these guys are absolutely fantastic. Great bunch of guys. Yeah, and they loved like just hanging out, you know, like with the rest of the crew and just flying with me as well, you know. And like they're not just mods, they're not just sitting there with a mouse like just, oh, I'm gonna get ready to ban that guy. No, they're actually flying with us. And, you know, yeah, right. Do you know what I mean? Like actually playing some games with us as well. So yeah, like, you know, we're just regular guys, man, just trying to have some fun on the internet. Like,
good.
Not that kind of fun though, but yeah, you know what I
mean. So Bish, how do people get a hold of you?
I mean, we've got of course, you know, some business emails. I mentioned my business email to my chat on one of the streams, and I got absolutely ripped to shreds just because I still use @hotmail.com. Everyone was like, wait, @hotmail.com? Like, what is this, 2000? I was like, man, like, come on.
Does it just forward to your AOL?
At least it was an AOL. Yeah, just say AOL.
Right. I was gonna say, like, it's just an email account, but chill out, guys. But yeah, like I got ripped to shreds, like, oh my gosh. But yeah, we've you know, in all my, you know, like social media and even on the stream channel, like if you go to the information, you'll find the Discord, you'll find social media, you'll find you know, business emails, of course. I try and respond, you know, as fast as possible, of course, obviously with streaming. And, you know, after the stream, I have to, like, you know, prepare, you know, my dinner and stuff like that before it gets too late. And, you know, there's other, like, IRL, like, personal stuff that come in. I always try and respond to everyone's DMs, emails, like, yeah, when I can. It might be 24 hours later, but I respond because, you know, that's just how I am. But yeah, social media, Instagram, I love Instagram. Instagram is pretty cool. I'm not going to lie.
I think yours is the only... I was looking at Twitter the other day, and I'm like, what is this for mature audiences? I didn't even know Twitter had that. And you're the only one that I was trying to follow. And
on
I couldn't
Twitter?
Get into. Yeah, I don't know what you put on there. But
on Twitch, for sure. I put mature audiences because...
Twitter.
Oh, on Twitter, I'm not sure. Not sure. To be honest with you, I'm not really that active on Twitter, to be honest. I'm more active on Instagram because for like what it does for me and any other kind of like content creators, it really puts your stuff out there for everyone to see, and people can then like come in and like check out your channel, like your profile, and they can see the Twitch stream link. I've had loads of people come into the stream like, yo, I found you on like Instagram, love the clips, I'm just gonna hang out here for a little bit, and you know, that's fantastic. And then I go on Twitter and it's just like toxic, and I'm just like, let's go back to Instagram. Twitter is quite funny, yeah, but yeah, it's there.
Well, we'd like to thank Bish753. You guys got to catch him on Twitch. And I want to thank Adam Heater 7111, please. And
cheers, guys.
Bish, we really appreciate your time. And
thank you.
We will talk to you very soon, my friend.
No worries. Thank you very much for this opportunity. Honestly, have a great rest of your Sunday. I'm now going to watch Chelsea versus Liverpool. Up the Blues! Let's go, Chelsea.
Have fun.
All right,
Bish. We appreciate it, man.
Take care. No worries. Take care. Bye.
Thanks.
Happy Sunday. Bye. Bye.
You too. Bye-bye.
We wanted to thank everybody for joining us today. Bish, thank you a lot. You know, this was a fantastic interview, and you cracked me up, my friend. So, Adam, did you have any takeaways from this interview?
Yeah, I mean, lots. Obviously, there's not enough time, but first of all, we hope everybody enjoyed. Bish, thank you for your time. We really, you know, it's greatly appreciated. You know, I really enjoyed hearing where, you know, the history of where you used to work and how you got into streaming. And, you know, I just have a lot of respect for somebody who just, you know, takes up that venture in their life. I think it's really cool and to hear how it all happened. Little disappointed by your Star Wars versus Star Trek, but nobody's perfect. Blow them up, chat.
That's right.
You know, so, but no, we really appreciate it. You know, I learned a lot. Love the Ninja or Pirate game. I thought that was a lot of fun. Learned a lot about you. And we hope that everybody really enjoyed the interview.
Yeah. Absolutely. I'm just going to take my one takeaway on this is just the future of flight sim. You know, it's just an amazing piece. You know, the product that Microsoft put in front of us, it's just fantastic. And I think that there's going to be a lot of growth that we're going to see in the next year. And, you know, Bish says this all the time in chat, but it's important to take a look at where Microsoft is starting off. If you're going to compare the products out there, you know, take a look at where X-Plane was, you know, right when it released. I'm sure that you'll find that Microsoft is ahead of the game. So, but we wanted to say thank you to everybody for joining us. And my name is Eric and Adam, and thank you for joining us at Streamertopia. Take care.
Thank you all. Bye-bye.
Okay.